So in terms of a lot of people want to know about the device in the worker's hand at the beginning of Infinity Blade 2. What is that? And, how does it play a role in the story?
Okay, so the Infinity Blade. The Infinity Blade is made up of several components. The most important part of the Infinity Blade is the QIP destabilization ring that is basically the base of the Infinity Blade sword. That's what causes all the destabilization and the scrambling of the QIP that Jeremy was talking about. But the difference is once that technology, that destabilization is the critical component. But it only destabilizes the QIP for a fraction of a moment. And so it's kind of the fusion of that with the blade that actually allows a Deathless to be killed, because in the very moment that their QIP becomes fully disassociated, they are dead. They're stabbed through by a blade and they're able to die. And that wouldn't work with like a bullet or an explosion or something, because it's too kinetic, too fast, right? And so it was the combination of that, and that's the technology, is that QIP destabilization ring that is the real technology behind the Infinity Blade. When the worker created this technology, again something went wrong. It didn't work right, and so the whole process had to start of attuning the QIP to it. But the worker isn't. He's very, very, very intelligent.
And he's not very trusting.
And in making that ring, he didn't just make one of them, he made several that were linked together so that when that one became fully charged or fully activated, the other QIP rings that he created would also become activated. And that.
So basically, like the tuning process is more like, we could think of it like machine learning nowadays, where there's almost some sort of artificial intelligence that is learning and learning and learning, and eventually it becomes solid. It works, and once it works, it can be copied. Yep. So he created a system where as soon as one worked, they would all work.
Yep.
Hence all the blades.
Hence the blades. And so the reason why we showed that at the very, very start of Infinity Blade 2 was to show that moment where he's sitting there in his prison cell forever, and all of a sudden his little loop begins to glow. That's when he knew that the Infinity Blade was actually, because that activated and they all activated. So he had a little one, and others, and so that's when he kind of knew, oh man, change is coming, right? It actually worked. Mm-hmm. And that's why when he uses it on Thane, so like putting it up to Thane, touching Thane with it was enough to scramble his QIP, but not kill him, right? Because it's not actually an Infinity Blade yet, or part of Infinity technology, and that's where we see the monstrous repercussions. That's why like his QIP becomes scrambled, and immediately his DNA starts freaking out, and he starts to like collapse in on himself, and he's not actually dead. Thane is like, I feel so bad. I love Thane, and he like gets it worse than anyone else in the whole universe, because the other Deathless, they at least just die. Like he's like I imagine what happened to Thane. Like Thane probably, we don't show it, but imagine Thane like it's all totally destabilized, like his bones are all cracking. He's probably like laying on the floor in this like mangled pile of body, still barely probably conscious and like going crazy, as the worker is like, hey, go fight Radiar and let me free. And we probably don't show. Probably the next scene though is like, oh, and before you go, can you drag this guy out with you? So actually like probably takes him back up, chucks him off the side of the Vault of Tears. Thinks he's dead.
If he was that kind.
If he's even that kind, like so Thane's probably like laying at the base of the Vault of Tears for like 20 years, just mangled, as his body's kind of healing but continuing to mutate and go insane. And
that's why it's faster for like in Infinity Blade 3, Cyrus will kill himself at the end of a quest to just warp back, because he has another body of himself waiting for him, and that process is linked up in such a way that the Deathless can instantaneously form up in a new body if it's already formed. But if they're left in their current body without actually fully dying, then it just takes them a long time to heal themselves.
Yep.
And that can take a long, long time if you're mangled that badly, especially when your
Where
DNA
he's
is a little bit scrambled.
completely scrambled.
He'll
right?
fully heal, but it'll take a long time. So yes,
Right.
he's not in a fun position.
Anyway, so that was our nod to, again, if you're really paying attention, that moment was when the Infinity Blade came activated, and that was also to allude to, because we knew in the third game we were going to introduce more Infinity Blades, and we wanted all that consistency, and we wanted to show that it's a progression. So that's